Today is Saturday, March 5th, 2016, and this is the Bunny Slippers of Evil Job Seekers Call-In Show, presented by Evil Bunny Consulting. I'm your host, Tyrone Griffin, and if it's 3 p.m. you have on your bunny slippers, you are not looking for a job. Welcome, first-time and returning listeners. In this show, we discuss strategies and tactics of job search, staying motivated and dealing with career transition. For more tips, resources, daily motivations, and to listen to archive shows, go to the website, bunnyslippersofevil.com. There you also find links to the show's Facebook page, our Twitter handle, and our YouTube page. If you are listening live, you can call in with your questions at 347-202-0929. Again, that number is 347-202-0929. Now, a word from our sponsors. Evil Bunny Consulting is the alternative to expensive outplacement. They give company-sponsored job search workshops as well as a one-on-one job search bootcamp. For more information, go to bunnyslippersofevil.com. Resume Edit is the low-cost, high-quality resume writing company with certified resume writers, starting at just $35. You can find them online at resume4edit.com or call 404-860-2473. Be sure to tell them you heard about them on the Bunny Slippers of Evil Job Seekers podcast. Let 3dresumes.net turn your resume into a web page with a customized domain for 12 months for only $30. Help hiring managers and recruiters find you, make your resume available 24/7, and get a professional email address just for your job search. You can see my online resume at tyronegriffin.com, and for more information on how to get your own, go to 3dresumes.net. If you are thinking or about to look for a job in today's world, you will find a new reality in the job search process. The world has changed. Job search today is much more complicated than 5 years ago. Volumes of resumes, more applicant screening systems, depersonalized applications, panel interviews, team hiring, long, complicated applications, branding and social media. Yes, the world has changed, but have you? Are you still trying yesterday's approach? Why struggle and miss out on today's opportunities? Career Oyster is here to help. Great coaches, the latest resources, unique strategies personally tailored to your job search. Find out the new reality and how you can prevent costly mistakes. To register for a free 45-minute private session with head coach Howard Caddy, go to careeroyster.com. Find out the facts now. You'll be glad you did. Remember their motto, the world is your oyster, be the pearl. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I hope you had a good and productive week. I apologize for the timing of this show. I've had a long day. That's all I'm going to say, and I've been up since, I've been out of the house since about 5 this morning. That's why we had to do it this time. I just got home a little while ago, but I again apologize for everybody who wants to listen in live that you can't catch me. But the next few weeks, we should be at our 10 o'clock time slot. Now, for all the newbies, the new listeners, we usually do the show at Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 to 10:30. Every month, this year, we're trying to pick a theme. And this month's theme are the documents. So each show this month will be discussing one of the job search documents you should be using. One or more, maybe more, depending. I'm still writing the notes. But today's show, the first Saturday of every month, we do job search Q&A. Regardless of what the theme is for that month, we usually do whatever questions I've been asked during the week, either on Twitter or on the Facebook page or email or caught me in the supermarket or whatever. If I think it's a good question that maybe some other people can benefit from the answer, I'll bring it on the show. So, without further ado, let's talk about today's show. Also, by the way, you can go back and get all the old shows. They're all on the webpage. I'm in the process of redoing the webpage as I get time. But the old shows are all there. I got 2 speaking engagements coming up. I'll be on April 11th. I know I'll be up at Roswell United Methodist Church. I haven't been there in a while, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll be the keynote speaker there for their dinner conference. And I got another one at a school, and I apologize. I'll make sure I put it up on the website and put it in the Facebook feed so everybody can see it. I apologize for that. But anyway, it has been a crazy morning. It's been a long morning, but productive. I'm thankful that things went a lot better than I expected things to go, and I made it home safe, and all's right with the world. So let's talk about today's show. So today is Q&A show, and I'll start with got a few questions. If you are listening live and you got a question to ask me, you found us by mistake at 3 p.m. The number is 347-202-0929. Again, that number is 347-202-0929. So let's talk about the first question of the day. This one's more of a political question, not politics from the standpoint of the national politics, but corporate politics. The question is, should I go around a client to a customer? Let me give you a little bit of background on this question. There's a person who is a freelance person. She does freelance work, and she's been working with an organization for some time as a contractor. And she's been working with that organization, helping one of their clients. So her job, for all intents and purposes, she works for the company, but she's helping one of their clients. And was happy with the job. And the company she's working with, that she's freelancing with, decided, to cut back her hours. And well, again, you're freelancing. You don't work. You don't eat. You don't get paid. So the question that the person asked me was, she enjoyed working with the client that they were working with. Should she go around or go directly to that client and seek out to work with that client? Should she go ahead and since her company A, who she was actually working with, cutting back her hours, she's got, as they call the new vernacular, she's got bandwidth. So would it be appropriate for her to now go and seek out to work directly with that other client? And we talked about it, and the concern was, if she did that, would company A, there's a contractor, let me make sure I keep it all straight. There's a contractor who works with company A. The contractor and company A work together to support company B. Company A cut back the contractor's time. The contractor was curious, is it appropriate to then reach out to company B directly and see if they have some additional work that she could do for them directly without going through the other company? Very political. The concern was, she didn't want to burn the bridge with company A, and she didn't know, to be frank, what has company A told company B about you? Well, the way I looked at that question, the way I mean, it's kind of a little complicated, but the way I look at it is this. Number one, if you are afraid that company A may have said something negative to company B about you, and for that reason, you never reach out to company B, they've won. If they have said something negative about her, then they've said something negative about her, and there's nothing really she can do about it. But her going to company B or not is not going to affect the fact that they did or didn't say anything negative. So my recommendation was, do it. Go reach out to company B. You have the bandwidth, and you want to work with that company, reach out to them. Now, the way you do it, you don't try to throw company A under the bus while doing it. You don't reach out to company B and say, company A sucks. I never like working with them anyway. They're ripping you off. I can do it for a whole lot cheaper. You don't want to approach it like that, because A, you're burning a bridge. B, you really look bad. That's not a pretty look. So I suggested, if you want to do it, reach out to, if you have a contact in company B that you've been working with, reach out by email or conversation, or if you want to meet somebody for coffee, whatever. But you want to choose your words such that you don't say, I hate company A. The tone of the conversation, in my opinion, should be, company A is cutting back on my hours. or not even say that company A is coming back in my hours. Just say, I'm finding that I'm moving away from working so directly with company A, but I enjoyed working with you as a client. And if there are some opportunities for us to work together in the future directly, I would be more than happy to pursue them. And leave it at that, pretty much. If company A finds out you went to company B, well, so what? You didn't badmouth company A. Unless company A has specifically told you not to, and if they have, then the question becomes, well, why? You know, but this is where it gets political because you don't want to burn a bridge on company A or B because you never know. Company A may find some more work and ask you to come back. Company B might wonder, well, why is she throwing them under the bus? If you throw them under the bus, you don't know who your friends are. That's number one. You do not, business is a strange animal. People talk, people go to the gym together. You would be surprised the people who are friends who you would never guess are friends who know each other. There's many times you will find people who you would never imagine that they are married. That's one of those things where you see people and if somebody's got a common last name like Smith or Jones or Johnson or whatever, and you would never know that, oh, this Johnson is married to Jet Johnson. So be careful what you say. I have a saying, my job, and my coworkers know it well. I've told them, if I don't like any of you, you will never know. The only way you will ever know is if you're riding home with me in my car and you hear me venting. That's the only way you will ever know. That's how you need to be. If you don't like somebody, you don't like them. That's keep it. This is business. Okay, never forget that. This is not personal. This is business. I can get along with anybody, and I say that with 100% confidence. I can get along with anybody. If I have to work with you, I can get along with you. I will find a way to get along with you. If I have to compliment your cats or ask about your dogs, if that's what it takes to get us on the right path to working together, then that's what I got to do. And that's all there is to it. That's how we should. This is not personal. This is not my life. It is my job. I am paid to perform at a certain level. I'm not paid to like people. I'm not paid to dislike people. I'm not paid to be rude either. Okay, don't forget that. Okay. But in this case, again, my recommendation was to pursue it because the upside, if company B has to work, the financial upside is very big. At the same time, what is the downside of not doing anything? Well, company A is cutting back the hours to very little. Okay. You could potentially lose those pennies. And I don't say that to be funny, seriously. You could lose that small income. The upside of doing something is a lot bigger than the downside of not doing anything, of being afraid. If they've said, here's the thing, if company A has badmouthed you, and we don't know, but if somebody in company A has badmouthed you, well, you're no further along than you would have been anyway. So if company A has praised you, company B might see you and say, oh, this is an opportunity to work with somebody who company A said is really talented. Maybe we can find some other work in another division or whatever. So there's potential upside there's a lot more upside than downside in this situation, I guess is my point. So in that case, my advice was to go ahead and pursue it. So that was that. Now, here's a question, and this is one of the good ones. How do you deal with overly aggressive millennials? The millennials, you know who you are. The millennials are the generation after Y. They've just been in the work world maybe 5 or 6 years, in my opinion. They're very aggressive. I remember reading a newspaper article a couple of years ago. It was talking about millennials and how you'll get millennials who are out of school maybe 3 years and have held 6 or 7 jobs. They job hop a lot. That's one of the things. That's one of the traits and it's a stereotype. because not all millennials are like that. But that was one of the traits of millennials, was that they job hop a lot. In case in question, there was an overly aggressive millennial. And, you come to work to do your job. You want to let your management know if you're interested in advancement, if you're interested in moving up the corporate ladder. You want to let your management know that. How do you do that? Well, that's again where the politics, playing the game, another term. We all know the game is. The game manifests itself in many ways. We old school people, we know the game. I've been in work in corporate America 25 years. I've seen many games. I will not profess to say I know them all, but I've seen many games, and some of them you just, wow, how well people play. I've seen people masters of the game, where you just want to just sit back and watch. And I've also seen people run into brick walls left, right, and center and can't get out of their way trying to play the game. One thing somebody told me one time on a job that I was on, they said, when I first started working at that company, I was a different person. They said, the first month or so you were here, you were very quiet. And now you're not quiet anymore. And I told them, yeah, and that was intentional because I had to figure out what was going on. I had to watch. It's not just about the work you're getting, it's how do your coworkers interact with each other. Those are important things to know, to understand who likes who doesn't like who. So then you can understand when somebody says something positive or negative about someone, where they're coming from. But I was an observer. And this was the only time somebody ever piqued my game. But yeah, I was very quiet. I just watched. I didn't sit like a bug on a log. I interacted with my team, but I didn't say a lot. Now, I guess the person felt at that point that I was very vocal. I didn't say much at the time when I first started. And the reason I didn't say much because, again, I was watching. I was watching the company culture. I was watching the team culture. I was watching how my manager interacted with my teammates. I was watching how my teammates interacted with each other. I was trying to understand the dynamics of the team. I was doing my job, but on top of that, there's a whole separate layer. There's the physical performance of the job, and then there's the game. It's totally, if I can do this, okay. If I can do that, if I can make one hand go one way, I know I'm playing on. Let me stop on the podcast. The people that aren't seeing the video of this podcast, you miss a whole lot of great stuff. But anyway. So yeah, this person told me that. So now when this question comes up with millennials about, what do you do with an overly aggressive millennial? The example was a person who wanted to advance in the company. And this person was on the job less than a year and was already pushing for raises and promotion, and they weren't listening. This was a big thing. You let your boss know that you want a raise, that you're interested in advancing and getting more money. We all are. And then you let it go. Once your boss knows, you let it go. This person was continually, over and over and over, letting the boss know, well, I need more money. My peers have moved past me. I need more money. And it was like, are you crazy? I mean, seriously? Are you nuts? Your personal financial information has no place in corporate America. So if you use that as a way of, leveraging or trying to leverage, making your boss feel sorry for you by saying, hey, I'm broke, too bad. I know one person, this is kind of a side story, but somebody says something to me that they said to their boss and it blew my mind. Because I knew I had my response for it. And the person said to me was, they told their boss that, they were making less money on this job than they had in their previous job. They were making X dollars less. And their question was, how do we make that up? And okay, for those who know me, you know I had about five really smart aleck answers to that. One was probably something about you can go swing on a pole to make it up. But the point is, you took this job, you accepted this job knowing what the pay was. You knew what the pay was, but there was no implicit or written understanding that we would accelerate the recovery of your lost income. I like big words, big sentences. So for you to now assume that we are going to do that would be incorrect. Basically, hell no. Excuse me, my French, but you took this job. Again, this is related to the question in that because it's part of the game. It's part of corporate politics. Okay. If you want to raise, gauge it in how can I perform better to move to the next level. Those are the key words. Don't just come out and say, I need more money. Yeah, don't we all, But that's where that learning the politics of corporate America comes in. People don't know those politics. You millennials, I'm sorry, we were like you were at one point, but we were, I think my generation from the last millennium, we were more into let me sit down and shut up and watch. Again, like I was told I did on that job. Let me sit down and watch the game and see how the game is played. But when you have an overly aggressive, let me get back to the original question. When you have an overly aggressive millennial, Generation Xer, whatever, you have an overly aggressive person. It's kind of like job search. Remember I told you that if you go to a job networking event and you're all sitting around a table, and a lot of events are at churches, so you're at a table, and somebody comes by and does like the poker shuffle and gives everybody one of their business cards and keeps going to the next table, just keeps doing it. You got that person, but then you got the person that says at your table, and I almost told the wrong story. The person is at your table, and it is obvious that they are all about self. They're all about, what can all of y'all at this table do for me, kind of thing. I want y'all to help me. Okay, I want you to do this. 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 That person, everybody at the table will go, okay, yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm writing it down. Good. And when you leave the table, nobody would do anything. The bottom line, the answer to the question is, what do you do with an overly aggressive employee? You ignore them. And you ignore them in such a way that they never understand it. It's amazing how people can get together and work without verbalizing that they are getting together and working. What I mean by that is, funny story. I got stories. I was driving from somewhere. I forgot where I was driving from, but it was on a highway, and it was one of those 2-lane highways. It was some good traffic, and there was one car. It was people in the right lane were going kind of slow, so a bunch of us were in the left lane, and we were just keeping it moving. And there was somebody who just were like weaving in and out between us, and it got to a point where they got trapped on the right side behind a slow moving vehicle. And about 5 or 6 cars in a row, and we all came to the same conclusion. Well, we're not going to let you in. So everybody kind of tightened up. We didn't know each other. Everybody's kind of tightened up so the person couldn't get back over. And when the last car came, they jumped over and they tried to jump back and get back in front, and everybody was tight. And it was funny. It was just, nobody, we didn't have a meeting. We didn't get together and plot. Same thing about the people at the job networking table, the one person who's very selfish. You don't have to get together and meet. You just decide to do it. Just like if you have an employee who is overly aggressive and a pain in the behind. Say anything? Everybody just starts covering their own and watching themselves, and that person doesn't get anything. So the way we deal with those employees, you try to talk to them, you try to mentor them, but the real way we deal with them is we ignore them. And millennials, and I don't mean to sound condescendingly to you and superior to you, but we got more experience than you. We played the game longer. Trust me, you will think you are the greatest person in the world, and you will be so far, you won't be on the bottom of the totem pole. You'll be the roots that are holding the totem pole up. Okay. Corporate America is not just about performing the job. Corporate America is about how you look, unfortunately. It's about how you dress, unfortunately. It's about, some cases, your gender, your race, your age. It's about all those things. Unfortunately, I'm not saying every office is like that. Every office has its nuances of which things are important and which things aren't. But corporate America is not just about performing the job. Corporate America is making people feel comfortable with you. Okay? You know, people say, oh, there's so-and-so is a go-getter. Yep, go get away from me. Okay? Nobody likes working with a jerk. Nobody likes living with a jerk. Nobody likes sitting near a jerk. Nobody likes helping a jerk. Don't be a jerk. Okay? Nobody, and you know, and it's, I've heard women say many times that if a man is bossy, they call him bossy. If a woman is bossy, they call her another word that begins with a B. It's not appropriate. It's not fair to the women. I will be the first one to acknowledge that. It is not fair. But that's the reality of it. Okay? Suck it up. It's not fair, but that's the reality. Play the game. Okay? I don't think I've ever done, that's one subject I've never done a show on, playing the game, because you really can't do a whole show on that, because the rules are different in every company, every department. But as this person told me, I was quiet the first month and a half I was there, because I was figuring out the game. And it was not that I'm manipulating people. I don't mean that at all. It means that I was figuring out the group dynamic. I was figuring out the team culture. Okay? That's what I was figuring out. Okay? When you come onto a new job, I know you want to become CEO by the time you're 30. We all did. One, maybe two of you might even make it. The other 99%, we will not make it. And you will burn bridges like crazy. You do not want to burn bridges, trust me. As great as you think you're doing, you do not want to burn bridges. The same bridges you burn were the ones you'll have to try to cross later. Ooh, sorry, I don't know where all that came from. But anyway, thank you for listening, people. If you are listening on the website, feel free to subscribe. Post these every week up in iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave feedback in iTunes so other people can find the show, and I truly appreciate it. If you have a suggestion for a topic that you would like me to cover, either the podcast or the 1 minute bunny tip, send it to me at Tyrone@bunnyslippersreadable.com. Yeah, I swear I got them written. I just have to sit down and make the time to record them, and I have been disgustingly busy. I have a senior in high school. Changes everything, trust me. But anyway, when you do land, please don't forget the show. Please support us by visiting our Cafe Press store, buying a t-shirt, a water bottle, a coffee mug, a clock, or a sweatshirt, so that you will have a memento of your time in transition. Because I don't want you to forget this time, people. Because the moment you do, you set yourself up to be in transition again. I know people who have been in transition 2, 3, 4 times. Not by their own doing. Now, granted, there are some people who have been in transition 2 or 3 times because they screwed up, because they pissed off the boss. I've been in transition 3 times. 1, 2, 3 or 4 times. I don't think I did anything wrong. It happens. But I remember the pain every time. I remember what it was like to be in transition. I do remember. I encourage you to don't forget. If you're here, don't forget. You know, I got my Bunny Slippers coffee mug. Okay. I want to be reminded every day of what transition was like. It was not a good time. It was not a happy time. And I don't ever want to forget that. Whew. Every week, I wonder how I get through a half hour of this show. Thank God. That's all I can say. So anyway, everybody, take care. We will talk to you again next week. Have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, and bye-bye.